Why are deckled edges like an actual thing that exists in the world? Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna, this is Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals. Today we're going to let Scattergories choose my July TBR. So if you've been around for a couple of months, I let Scattergories choose my TBR. Sort of. I have a container full of prompts that are somewhat based on the game of Scattergories. Obviously it's hard to make an exact book prompt based on the Scattergories game, but that's kind of how it goes. So if it's the Scattergories game, the prompt was a boy's name, then my prompt is a male author. Then we take this letter die and we figure out what letter, and then the title of the book has to have a letter that starts with this. It's gonna be fun. June was a weird month. If you watched any of my vlogs, you know that. Or if you watch the news. I pretty much threw out my entire TBR, which means that I did not read all of the prompts. I read let me rephrase that. I read these 4 plus one audiobook for a book that I don't have, and then I'm in the middle of this one, so I'm going to count it. That does mean that I did not finish or start No Exit by Taylor Adams, which was the prompt to read a book that you know nothing about with the letter N. I've read a lot of books in June. They just didn't all fit prompts. So this was the retelling that had the letter O, which I'm in the middle of. This was reading a book in bed, which was with W. This one I switched out, and it was a four-word title with L. This was a book that I was going to read in the morning. And this one I switched out with a book that you wanted to, or at a place you wanted to go, that started with the letter T, and that was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Normally I would pick 7, because I didn't do 1. I'm gonna pick 8 today. And hopefully read them all. This is terrifying. And I knew this was going to happen. And I'll be honest, I started A Court of Thorns and Roses yesterday so that I could say I was in the middle of it when I filmed this. I may not even finish it in the month of June, because it's a 16-hour audiobook, but I didn't even get it in until yesterday on my script. So, oh well. Okay, so let's pick our first one. I did add some prompts in here to make it a little bit more diverse. There are a couple of books that I definitely want to get to. I also have my group book for the Literary Alliance that I need to get to, so I'm kind of hoping that one will fit in somewhere. So yeah, we're just gonna... I folded these terribly in the fact that so many of them get stuck together. All right, a book with an illustrated cover. I have a bunch of those. I have some arcs with those, so let's pick a letter. All right, so let's pick a letter. Seriously? Okay, so I'm going to be reading Meet You in the Middle by Devin Daniels. This is an illustrated cover. It has that word, well, it's in I. This is an adult romantic comedy, I think, that's a polar opposites about 2 staffers that work in DC. One is works for a very liberal senator, and one works for a very conservative senator. So this should be a ton of fun. I love political romances. They're right up there with royalty romances, because there's usually politics in royalty romance. So this one should be a ton of fun. I don't know a lot about it. Let's pick another one. They're all sticking together. I just want 1. Not 4. All right, a 5-star prediction. I have a few of those. I haven't done a video on 5-star predictions in a while, and I never really followed up with the ones that I did do back in October of last year, but I do have some. So let's pick a letter, and fingers crossed that's one that I actually want. All right, here we go. B. This was a book that I recently hauled. I was actually kind of scouring my shelves and I didn't see anything that I really thought was going to be 5-star, and then I remembered this one, and that is Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. This is, I know very little about this, but it is a fantasy. I know that there is Ace Rep in it. It is a dark fantasy. It has to do with like the main character being a soul walker and being able to walk into the souls of other people. But then this door is following her, and I think it's like she's not supposed to touch the door, but whenever there's, whenever you say don't do it, you obviously want to do it. So this is something that I've been wanting to read for so long because I heard so many people talking about it, and I just wasn't able to get my hands on it, and I found it. So we're gonna read this one. All right, moving on to my third one. 8, huh? That's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll find like some really short ones or some like graphic novels. That'd be fantastic. All right, and this one is a female author. So let's pick a letter. Okay, so this is a super like wide and varied prompt, so there are definitely a few that I want this to come up, so we'll see if I can get lucky. D. Okay, this was a book that I had really wanted to read last year and did end up getting to, but it's something that's definitely was highly anticipated, and that is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. This is an adult historical fantasy, and it has a lot of it kind of sounds like The Wayward Children meets Narnia, and I'm here for that. I did start reading this last year, but I was in a really weird slumpy time, and so I didn't quite get it finished. It was part of a project that I ended up cutting, so I didn't end up really finishing this or reading it, so I'll restart it again. I think I have the audiobook for it now, so this will probably definitely be one that I read on audio. Alright, so we have 2 fantasies and a romance so far. So that's not a bad mix, and there's nothing super thick or, big. No 1,000-page books or anything like that. I say that, and then I'm pretty sure I have a prompt in here that is a big book, and that's what I'll end up getting. Another 5-star prediction. Cool. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know I had multiple ones of that one. That's cool. Let's pick another one. All right. Let's see what we've got. Okay. This actually worked out perfectly because I saw this book after I had picked Beyond the Black Door, and I was like, oh, why didn't I pick this one? So this works too. And so I'm going to read The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This is another historical fiction, historical fantasy that takes place from the perspective of Mozart's sister, and that power dynamic there, because Mozart is supposed to be the talented one. So definitely really excited to read this one. I actually talked about this one on my mid-year freakout tag as one of the books that I, a 2020 release that I had not gotten to yet. I'm also knocking out multiple book of the month books, which is good. All right, here we go. Pick a random book. So that just basically means that as long as it fits the letter, I can do whatever I want. I would like to. Okay. C. I was looking at my shelves. I have quite a few that start with the letter C that I could start. I could continue on with ACOTAR and read A Court of Mist and Fury. I could read City of Bones. There's a whole bunch of them that I could read, but none of them are really speaking to me. But I remembered I just got approved for this arc that comes out on October 1st, and it is called The Midnight Circus by Jane Yolen. And this is a short story and poetry collection, and I'm kind of here for it, and I kind of want to read you the description because it sounds amazing. But it's 16 brilliantly unnerving tales and poems. Central Park becomes a carnival where you can, but probably shouldn't, transform into a wild beast. The Red Sea will be deadly to cross due to a plague of ferocious angels. Meanwhile, the South Pole is no place for even a good man, regardless whether he is living or dead. So, sounds real spooky, and a great summertime read. It doesn't come out till October 1st, so like it's good. It's definitely more of a fall feel to it, but I'm gonna read it this month. All right, let's pick another one. Is that 5? I feel like that's 5. We have 3 physical books and 2 ebooks. Cool. It's also nice to be able, to be doing some of the ebooks, because I think for the past couple of months, I would check that if nothing else fit. I was just trying to mostly read physical books, and now my ARCs are stacking up on me again. There's one book, really, that I really want to read this month. I'm just, in the mood to read it. And it hasn't been fitting a prompt. All right. So this is listen to an audiobook while doing chores. So anytime I'm around the house doing whatever, I'll listen to an audiobook. It can be anything. So let's pick one. We love these prompts that don't actually have a specific book in mind. But even then, they never work. T. This is the book that I absolutely wanted to read this month. It's the one that I'm in the mood for. And that is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. I think I started this one back in April, but I was in a really weird mood, and so I didn't end up continuing it. So really excited to pick this one up. I don't have an audiobook for it right now, but if nothing else, I will get it on Audible and we will read it. This is, I think, from the 50 pages or so that I had read before, it had a very Good Omens feel to it. It's about this librarian that overruns hell. I think it's hell. It's the Unwritten Wing, which is a neutral space in hell. And basically it's where all of the characters go from books that do not get finished. And I think one of the characters gets out and tries to go after its author or something like that. It has pansexual representation, and I've heard it's amazing, so really excited to pick this one up. There's a prompt for the reading rush, which I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do, but if I do, there is a prompt on there that says that the book needs to start with the word the, and that would be this one. So I could potentially put that one into that one. So that is 6. Dear God, I still have to put 2. I'm still page count wise, I think we're still okay. So, especially since one of them is short stories and poems, so that shouldn't be too difficult to read. Okay, and then this one is read the book in the morning. It can be whatever book, I have to read it in the morning. Overall, Scattergories is not being too difficult, so hopefully we can stick with that. A. The book that I'm choosing for this one is After the Flood by Cassandra Montague. I came across this book from Jessie from Bow Ties and Books. I think they put this on one of their favorite books of the year last year, and then I found it on Amazon for pretty cheap and decided to pick it up. This is a dystopian novel where the waters have basically come up into the United States to where I think it's Iowa is a coastal town. So that's quite a lot of water. And it's just a dystopian kind of trying to survive type story. I know very little about it, but I do know that it's beautiful. And I am a sucker for a dystopian book. I've read so many dystopian stories this year, and I am here for them all. So here's another one. The only thing I do not like about this book. Come on. Why? Why are deckled edges an actual thing that exists in the world? All right, let's go ahead and pick the next one. This is a doable month. I shouldn't have too difficult of a time. I'm going to have a little bit of a vacation. I've got a holiday. Hopefully I can do a little bit of reading. Alright, a book in a series. Okay, so let's pick the last one. W. And coming in with the clutch, Scattergories, I love you today. The Literary Alliance book for the month of July is Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. This is book 1 in the System Divine series. I think book 2 either just came out or was just announced, like the cover was just revealed. It's beautiful. But this is a Les Mis retelling in space. And the Literary Alliance is focusing on women who write science fiction for the month of July. This was the winner, and I'm real excited about it. So this is definitely the biggest book that I will be reading this month, and definitely one that I will probably read on audiobook. Let's see how many pages it is. Okay, 579 pages. That's not terrible. Let me know which books that you're excited to see me read. I will try to do weekly vlogs this month. I will try. If I do Reading Rush, I might daily vlog that. We'll see. I just haven't decided yet. It's a weird time this year. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all the other links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. What makes this heart beat faster?